So this is something that I found in my little painting basket. I haven't painted in over a year now, and I wanted to complete this piece before 2025 ends. I've been sitting on this really cool idea where I used some of the press-on nails that I've created, and I sort of rearrange them around this blue being. And I think I'll rearrange it in such a way that it creates an aura of nails. And it would be a great way to also create and combine different mediums of art and style. You know, we have craft painting, we have press on nails designed by Moa, and then we have a hot glue gun and peppermint tea and this. So I've already read it out loud, but I want to do it again. I don't know why. Should I? Should I not? I think I'm going to do it again. The ending of a comic cycle. I, Kentani Dongo, hereby declare the termination of my past karmic lives and the accumulation of karma that has been stored. I will no longer engage, accept, and encourage any and all karmic situations, ties, and connections. This is heavily based on my connections, partnerships, relationships, and contracts. I release, banish, and terminate all karmic contracts from this day on and the next. I eradicate and cleanse myself from karmic wounds and karmic ties. Here's my truth, my karmic justice. The love I have for myself outweighs any and all that wishes to distract, deter, and demolish me. Let it be known, let it be witnessed, and let it be adhered. Let it be decreed. The date that this was signed was the 17th of October, 2024. It was signed by Kensani Dongo. If this is not a good omen, if this is not a sign that I am on my right path, if this is not a sign that I am cooking up a storm, I don't know what is. So these are the nails. These are all of the nails. I put it in this cute little box. Yeah, there it is. These are all the nails that I've designed. Homage to all of the wounds, the pain, the betrayal, the distress that I've had for people and that I've had for myself and that I've experienced from people, including myself. In a way, it reflects my shadow. Yeah, in a world like this, it's easy to be ignorant. Like that dude from the Matrix, that dude, the one that betrayed them in the first movie, and he was like eating a steak, and he was like confirming it that, you know, I know this is not real. I know that the steak is not real, but ignorance is bliss. It's a beautiful thing to choose ignorance. It's a beautiful, sad thing to forfeit your will, forfeit your consciousness, your spirit, to prevent pain. So my white paint dried. I did not close it properly. So I guess the only thing I have in my disposal right now is my oil pastels. Let me see. Can we do something with it? Oh, yes, we can. Finding that letter just as the year is ending is like the last nail of 2025's coffin. This year, I had to face uncomfortable truths regarding my regarding myself and how it stands in my relationships, my connections, and my desires for relationships and connections. And something that I noted during this year is that, damn, desire can turn into desperation real quick if left unchecked. I have no friends, and I've been battling with that, where I really wanted to have a community of people to hang out with and laugh with and just stop that feeling of not belonging, stop that feeling of otherness. I didn't want to feel like an other. I wanted to be someone. And so that desire turned into desperation the moment I came into contact with people and values and situations that weren't ideal for me and what I wanted for myself. Um, there were two friendships this year that ended by my hand because I realized that this is a repeat of like an era that I had believed I was done with. The people pleasing, sacrificial, low self esteem Kinsani that just wanted to be anything, including gum on the backside of a table. Disgusting, unwanted, but there nonetheless. Unseen, unloved, but stuck there nonetheless, accompanied by all the other chewed up gum. And I'm not associating these people with that imagery. It's just life in general and the situations, the principles, the habits that we infuse into ourselves knowingly, you know, knowingly, because like these things could be toxic. These things could be dangerous. These things could be ineffective, inefficient, misaligned, but you still want it because, bless me, because you don't think there's anything better than this. It's sad. And these friendships, I'm no longer friends with them, but they taught me something valuable. I can choose to love myself. I know it's weird. Like, the sentence itself, I can choose. Why don't you just choose to love yourself? It's not always that easy. It's not always easy to it's not always easy to like place yourself on a pedestal, especially if you've lived your entire life placing others on a pedestal higher than yours, where perhaps it's your family, it's your friends, it's your coworkers, it's your religion, damn, it's your vices, and you place those things at a higher level because you believe they amount to something greater than you. And so I'm truly grateful for those friendships because it made me realize that I can choose to love myself. I can. Not all hope is lost, even when I have un momento. I'm going to read this again, and I'm going to read it because sometimes you just have to know. Like, sometimes you can just feel it. Sometimes you can really feel it when there are things beyond you that try to hit you, that try to find your weak points. Some people are really cruel, and that's okay. I've tried being cruel, I've tried being mean spirited, I've tried being evil. I really, at the time, liked the idea of being this villain that got revenge and just stepped on all the people that have hurt me and make them feel how it feels. But that's not me. I don't think that will ever be me. And I used to hate myself for it. I used to hate myself for my compassion. I used to hate myself for my trust. But now I love it even more. I love it even more because it says a lot about me as a person and it says a lot about me for me. I'm glad that I chose this path for myself. I'm glad that I chose this life for myself. I wouldn't want it any other way. Sometimes you just have to wake up and say, hey, I don't want to be like that person. Hey, this situation really taught me something about myself, about person A, about person B, and it all cycles back to me. What do I want? The ending of a karmic cycle. I, Kinsani Dongo, hereby declare the termination of my past karmic lives and the accumulation of karma that has been stored. I will no longer engage, accept, and encourage any and all karmic situations, ties, and connections. This is heavily based on my connections, partnerships, relationships, and contracts. I release, banish, and terminate all karmic contracts from this day on and the next. I eradicate and cleanse myself from karmic wounds and karmic ties. Here's my truth, my karmic justice. The love I have for myself outweighs any and all that wishes to distract, deter, and demolish me. Let it be known, let it be witnessed, let it be adhered, and let it be decreed. Signed by Kinsani. If this Kinsani, the Kinsani that wrote this on the 17th of October 2024. If she could see me now, she would be so proud. She would be like, oh my God, like you did it. And I'll be like, yeah, we did it. Of course we did it. Everything we put our mind to, we get it done. That's just who we are. We've never stopped being that little girl that had all of her 4 teeth like removed because of all the sugar she had eaten, like rotten teeth. All of my When I was young, I had all of my front teeth, all 4 of them were removed because they were like super rotten, because of all the sugar I ate. And yeah, we never stopped being sweet. Doesn't matter what gets removed, we can always grow back. And where we are not loved, where we are not wanted, where we are not appreciated, just remember that we are cosmic. And that's all that matters. And I love this for myself because it's like, whoa. No, I don't like that. It's like, whoa, you like a pretty cool girl. And I'm like, yeah, like, I am. As long as Mimi sees Mimi for Mimi, I'm good. I don't mind it. I don't care. Before I became this like really cool badass, I drowned in that misery that wasn't my own, misery that belonged to other people, hatred that belonged to other people, devastation and cruelty and evilness that belonged to other people, and I had taken it upon myself to hold it. I felt like it was an obligation, my obligation. I felt that if I held on to these things and I held it really high, perhaps the people that harbored these emotions, these feelings, these thoughts, these ideals would see me differently. But jack shit, they didn't. In fact, they decided to hurl more things, and I decided to pick up those things, and then I stopped. I stopped, and let's say a lot of people hate it when you transcend them in a way, you transcend all that. And the moment you discover people like that, the moment you see people's true nature, where you realize that all they truly have for you is cruelty and hatred, turn around and never look back. There's nothing there for you. Do not force it. Sometimes, and it's not like an ego thing, it's more like a self thing where I have to remind myself that, you know, I've gone through a lot, and it's okay for me to be a bit more selfish than the ordinary selfish person. It is up to me to place my needs, my wants, my desires, my loves, everything about me before anyone else, even the people that I do love. I have to love myself more than another individual loves me, because sometimes how a person loves you can be traced back to elements within their psyche that they are not yet comfortable with. And that's why love can be toxic. That's why love can be a devious game. That's why love can shackle certain people. Yeah. I'm dying to meet you. Obviously, I don't wanna think about what. There's some nails that I will not be using. I will not be using her. Maybe it's just gonna be like a crown. Maybe we'll just create a crown, right? So I'm just rearranging. I'm gonna have to do this like this. My coochie comes up late at night. Night out. Night out. I forgot how hot glue guns can be so messy. Said you know better. Thought she had a plan. Soon I'd understand the power I possess, the story of the chosen. On me. Look at the star. You can't see it, but it's there. A crown of nails. Get it! Anyway, at this point, I was really emotional. This moment, the realization of what I had created was quite pivotal and symbolic to my journey. And so, yeah, I think the surge, the energy surge of that moment, lol, is responsible for my mic dying. So I'm just fast forwarding. I really wanted to keep this moment in because then I had the great idea of placing nails around the wound as well. And this, in a way, represents a different side of healing where things don't necessarily clear out immediately. Not everything is as clean and as polished as we'd like to think, especially when it comes to the human spirit, the human mind. Nothing's ever linear, and so with the nails being around the wounding, it just felt right.